Hi, this is Amitabh Bachchan
Hi, this is Sujoy Ghosh.
and you're watching Bollywood Hungama. Thank you.
We have with us one and only one Amitabh Bachchan and the director of his latest film Badla, which is doing very well. Sujoy Ghosh, pleasure having you guys on Bollywood Hungama, sir. First of all, both of you. And so, what's your first response? The movie has had, I think, a 70%, 65 to 70% jump on day two, which is always a very good sign as far as box office is concerned.
I'm really bad with numbers. I really don't know how box office works, what the numbers mean. I keep asking the producers and them. But if it's an indication that it's being appreciated, then I'm happy for the producer, I'm happy for the director, happy with the film.
What about you? Your last film, even though it was very good kahani too, but at the level of box office, I'm sure that the box office response is always heartening for anyone, any
Yeah,
filmmaker.
absolutely. No two ways about it. Because at the end of the day, a film is a commercial product, and there are some people who have invested money in it, and it's very important for us as the creative team to see that person gets, his or her money back.
So your character Badal Gupta, he has this entire command over the body language, which is very, very important for the film because it is primarily just shot in the confines of a room. Your character specifically, how crucial was it for you to just work on that body language and the tonality of your voice, because those are the two weapons that you're having, which is really just making an impact on the audience in the theaters.
You know, I don't know how you actually describe when you assess a performance. When you talk about body language, when you talk about tone, I'm not conscious of it. I just follow what is written, and the writer is to be given credit. If you can just merely read what the writer has written, that's the tone, that's the graph, that's the body language. So the writer is the most important person. He's the one that designs the character. He's the one that places him in that one room, in that one chair. He writes and thinks what a character of this denomination is going to say, is going to speak, and how he's going to put it across. So when Sujoy tells me this is the scene and these are the lines you have to say, I just follow what he has written. And whenever there is a kind of discomfort on the way it has been done, he will come and tell me, I think we need to tone it down or we need to bring it up, and we just follow that. So as an actor, I'm not conscious of all these attributes that you're saying. I think that I just follow what has been written because I feel that the writer is the most important person in any production, in any film. He writes the screenplay, he writes the story, he has the entire vision in his mind. He designs the set, the clothes, the location. You just follow it.
Do you agree with Sir? Because I'll give you many instances why I'm talking about the body language and the voice specifically. He's conveying so much through a mere shrug of the shoulders. He's conveying so much when those eyes, they suddenly go steely. The way he's speaking at many a times, it conveys just through the mere tone of the voice. So I'm sure that Sir is being humble as always, but it's a phenomenal work as far as especially these contexts are concerned. The body language.
I feel it is just something that comes quite naturally. If you're given something to read, and these are the circumstances, this is the story, this is the situation as far as the screenplay is concerned,
Right.
and this is how you have to behave. I guess it should come normally. Yeah.
I mean, it happens exactly like he told you. We discussed the scene, the whole ins and out, where the character is coming from, where the character is going, what's going inside his head versus what he's doing outside. वो सब हो जाने के बाद, I don't think Sir realizes it. Sir, this is not to, you can give me a jhamper if you want. But he changes into Badal Gupta the moment the camera goes on. So I don't know, is that a natural progression? That Sir is a better person to say. But he changes. He changes into Badal Gupta the time camera is on, which is outstanding. That's the time.
Who invited you to this interview?
So that's the time you're sitting behind the camera like a fanboy and saying, this is why we joined the films.
I don't agree with this at all.
You ask any of the crew members.
See, the writer, he's the writer. He designed the whole thing, okay? He said, I need to see you in a black suit. I need to see you wearing a green tie. I need to see you wearing an overcoat. I need to see you carrying a briefcase. I need to see you playing around with papers and that emblem on the briefcase of BG. It's very important. Everything happens on its own.
Yeah.
We don't do anything. We merely, yes, we try and follow as diligently as possible his desire and his design that he has in mind of what this character should be, how he's going to speak, how he's going to look, how he's going to address this person. Now, when I get these lines and when I get this scenario and when I get the story, I have to understand that I'm a lawyer, and it's not possible to be playing exactly what the writer wants. So some of the inputs come from people you've observed. So if I've observed my lawyer, how he speaks or how he behaves, maybe some of those elements come into your performance. I'm not saying that they're majorly influenced the performance. It's more the way he has written it. And then I say, look, I'm a lawyer, and when I met my lawyer, or when I meet lawyers, this is how they behave or act or whatever it is, and then just that comes through.
So I must tell you that as he said, that the fanboy part, I think all of us are fanboys. So even जब आप अपना मोबाइल फोन आप रख रहे हैं टेबल के ऊपर और आप जो टाइमर आप स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, तो जिस स्टाइल से सर आप कर रहे हैं ना, इवन उसमें भी क्लास है सर. It has that impact, sir. So I don't know.
Yes.
So उसमें भी एक क्लास है सर.
Yeah, I don't agree with him at all.
Yeah, I can't understand this. I mean, how else do you put a phone on? You just put it down and press it.
But when Amitabh Bachchan does it, sir, there's so many memories that you just flash in your mind, sir.
That's not a correct assessment of it.
No, we can go on. Sir, do you watch public opinions? Because and do you feel that when you see the way people are reacting, people who are purchasing the tickets out of their hard-earned money, do you find a new perspective once you watch their?
Most certainly, yes. We, during the time of the initial stages of hearing a concept, of going through the whole process of writing the script, of reading the script, of discussions, of actually being on set, how to move, what to do. After all that, it's all confined within, say, 30 or 40 people, which are directly or indirectly involved with the film. But we do know that this whole concept is going to go out to thousands and lakhs of people.
Right.
And whether these 30, 40 people who've in their minds designed something for these lakhs of people going to work, that we'll only know on the Friday. That's when we expose this creativity, hopefully. We can call it creativity.
It is.
Out to the audience. And they are the ones that are going to react. So their reaction is most important. We can be working for years and years and feel that we've done the best and yes, this is it. And they could just dismiss it within an hour or so. So it's very important for them because they're the ones that are paying to come and see what you have created. They're the ones that have taken their time out, made the effort to come to the theater or wherever. And if they don't like it, then you failed.
What about you? How crucial is that public opinion for you?
Most crucial. I mean, this is why we make a film. At the end of the day, everything matters, Faridoon, whether it's critics' opinion, public's opinion, box office. I mean, personally, if I speak for myself, all this matters to me. Because that's how I quantify my work. That's how I know whether I have made a product which is palatable for my audience, which in turn gives a return to my producers, whoever the investors in the films are. So they're very important for me, extremely, extremely.
So Badla is a very engaging thriller. It has, the best part is that it keeps you interested right from the beginning till the end. When you must have shot for your scenes and after that, a lot of processes take place. There's dubbing and there's edit that he's doing and background score goes into it. From the time that you've shot for the film and from the time when you see the final edit, what is the process for you when you see the final edit? And many a times when a film surprises you, like a film like Badla.
The first thing is that it was all done sync sound. We didn't have any dubbing to do. For some, it's a blessing. For some, they want to redub and hopefully improve their performance. In the early years, in my early years and in my time, we used to do a lot of dubbing because, camera sounds, external sounds were huge. Now there is sufficiently sophisticated equipment to, cut that out. And we had an opportunity, rather, I would say I had an opportunity to not just dub, but to try and improve what I'd already performed. Sometimes it worked, most of the times it did not. But In this film, because it was sync sound, there wasn't any need to dub. I would then compliment the sound designer, the sound recordist, because he's able to project the sound the way we actually enacted it, and that's very important. When you're actually acting it, sometimes it's important just to allow things to happen the way they're happening and the way you're speaking. Many a times the director will say, I think you went too soft there. I think you need to be a little harsh. You need to put the volume up. A lot of times the recorders will say, I didn't hear what you said. So some of those distractions happen and you try and improve it. But by and large, I think sync sound is, I feel now comfortable with it. Yes, if there are moments which need to be redubbed because either you've said the wrong dialogue or you need to improve the tone, yes, then I do it. The other thing is that when you're confined in one room and you're assured that, yeah, there can be no other disturbance, then you leave everything to the director. I think there were times when you were using about 2 or 3 cameras for one shot. So you don't realize at that point of time which camera is doing your close-up, which is following your hand, which is doing your mid-shot. You just perform. I'm used to my time. We never had monitors, we never had anything like that. The director never had any monitors. He just stood there in front of the camera and asked you to enact. And his decision and the cameraman's decision was the final decision. We weren't even allowed to go and see the edit room, and the editing used to happen months later after the shoot. Processing used to take time. Now everything is immediate, and the director, producer, inputs, ADs, you can get 50 inputs almost within a second. I don't have the habit of going and watching the monitor because, I've not grown up in that time. So I really don't know how people react. But I see when I work with a lot of the younger generation, everyone goes and has a look at it. And I think it's a good habit because you see what you've done and you can, if your hair is wrong, if your voice is wrong, if you want to improve your performance, you get an opportunity to do that immediately.
Yes.
There's no issue about spending a lot of money on film because the film is no longer there.
Right.
In our time, we had to get it right on the first take. Film was the most important element. It was the most expensive element. It was imported. And there were restrictions on how much film you could use per film.
Right.
Your costs would go up and you never allowed that. So we had to be right on the first take, our mood, expression, everything. Now, there's digital.
Right.
Now, they'll take 50 retakes and we're not used to that. So we do the first one right and then the next 49 are all wrong. And they choose something from that and do it. But the benefit is that you are now getting an opportunity to use 3 or 4 cameras at the same time and have better opportunity to edit. That is the director's department. I don't know what happens. It's only when I see the final product and say, hey, that was good. So now since we are on a self-promotion, I can say sincerely, I truly appreciate the way this film has been edited and directed.
Fantastic.
Because it's very difficult when you have a variety of shots and you have a variety of takes, how to choose the exact right one. That requires talent.
So I'll take liberty once again. You said my time. So एक ही चीज़ मेरे जहन में आई कि that जो आपका डायलॉग है कि that हम जहाँ खड़े हो जाते हैं लाइन वहीं से शुरू होती है. So अभी उसके लिए I think कह सकते हैं कि हम जहाँ खड़े हो जाते हैं वक्त वहीं से शुरू होता है. So I think वक्त. So I'm sorry, sir, but that's how I think it is that.
I'm not believing anything, so and you can always edit this. We are on digital camera.
You like to portray the cities in your films as characters. We've seen how you've portrayed Kolkata, and now Glasgow is something that comes across as a character in itself. The best part is that it looks beautiful, but the feeling that you get is that of grim and morose feeling. Tell us something about the entire idea of portraying Glasgow the way you have portrayed.
I take it the other way around. When we were growing up, if you read any race books or those kind of books that time, it's always a mission in Venice, murder in Kathmandu, something happening in China. So there was always a place attached to the story. Those little books we used to get when we were growing up, and you see that world plays a very important role, which has to be very believable when you're setting your characters in that world. At least I believe that. I could be completely wrong. I mean, I don't know much. I made home delivery. So that's why whenever I take a film, the first and foremost is to be try to put it in a world which would be believable. You know, sometimes you go right like Kahani, sometimes you don't like Aladdin. But it's for me, it's very important the world has to be right. So the characters doing whatever they're doing has to be right, that Badal Gupta is walking in the street on his own, carrying his own briefcase, rather than having a chauffeur-driven car, is possible in a society which is like that, where each, he does his own, where a person, a business person, a very successful business person, stays in a house without any help. She makes her own coffee, offers him coffee. So I needed that society. I needed that little bit of isolation. And Glasgow kind of gave us that, It's nice, but it's still very dull. The sky helps us to set the mood. The snow helped us to set something very pretty and something very grisly happening within something pretty. So ये सब था. And when a film works, all this works. When a film doesn't, nothing does.
So you worked with Taapsee in the past in Pink, and now you guys are working together. How important is it to have a very competent actor in front of you, especially when the entire narrative is depending on the conversation that you guys are having?
If your colleague is good, then you look good. I'm not good. It's the colleague that is good. The reflection comes on me, and therefore I also look good. So it's when Taapsee is working with you and she delivers her lines and in the manner that she does, in the manner of the character, then my response, whatever it is, just helps me look good. So it's very important. If I'm looking good to you, then please credit my colleague and my co-star, because it's because of them that we get their reflection.
I think he doesn't agree with that
No.
entirely.
No, that
Taapsee is excellent.
part of it I definitely agree with, because like a good tennis game, you're as good as your competitor. So I think it's great if somebody is giving another
It
person.
can only happen this way. I mean, yeah, there's no other sideline to it.
No,
there
absolutely.
isn't.
Your game is as good as your opponent.
You can be in a scene and there can be 10 other people with you and they don't know what the hell is going on and they're just mucking up their lines. You're going to look stupid. But when you have someone who is performing well and doing the kind of performance that is desired of the script and from the director, you automatically start doing good.
And Amrita Singh is someone that everyone is talking about. I think she's phenomenal in the film. So how was the experience of working with her? And because she comes across as a surprise. What she delivers is a total surprise.
Her role is, according to me, the most important role in the film. And I don't know whether we can talk about it or not, because now the film is released, but she has the most important role, according to me. It's very rare that you find on Women's Day, and I'm just saying that, on Women's Day to have, two prominent women play a very prominent role in a film. It's also very important that there is the whole parent angle in the film. I can't say further than that, but these are the two things that are of great value for this film. Yes, the story is good and fine, but the credit really goes to the two women in the film.
What's the name of the guy who plays her husband?
Is an actor called Tanveer.
He's a surprise as well.
Yeah.
I think.
Like Sir says, all the whole cast really provided a huge lot of support to the film. They were all very hardworking and they all put in a tremendous amount of performances. And half of your work, Sir keeps saying director, aisa kuch nahi hai. Half of your work is done when you have actors like him, Taapsee, Amrita ji. They take half your work away, man. And you're sitting there unemployed.
No, he's being humble.
No, I'm not being humble. I have had tough times on set also.
The way you've cut the film.
I think we saw many fresh
nice.
faces in the film,
Ji.
and that always works. In a situation
Luke,
which is thriller and kind of mysterious, sometimes an odd face, a different face, a face you haven't seen before, I feel works better. Because you don't associate that face with a renowned actor, and therefore you tend to, oh, if this one's doing it, so ये बुरा काम नहीं करेगा, ये अच्छा काम करेगा, ये अच्छा काम नहीं करेगा, ये बुरा काम करेगा. Sometimes you associate an actor because of some of their past roles that they've done. But because there's a fresh face, you're uncertain as to what is happening.
So you've also recited your father, Sir Harivansh Bachchan's poem Gudiya in the film as well. My question to you is that you've been, I think, a huge fan of your father, and when you just read his work, do you think that there are new layers to the meaning?
Because, you know, the marketing team of Red Chillies and the producers, we sat in this very room, and they were talking about how to promote the film, how to market the film. There were many ideas that came from the team that was doing all the edits, from Rahul Nanda, who was in charge of the designing, and he had an idea. And I just felt that on this idea, would this poem work? I recited it to them, and they felt yes. I designed the music with Rohan Vinayak, the two music directors who I work with constantly. And we designed the music, and then I did the recitation over the imagery and the thought process of what Rahul Nanda had designed in his mind. And that went merely as a promo. It's not a part of the film.
If I have to ask you that, because I think your father's poetry has played a very big role in your career, in your life. You've always said the lines that man ka ho jaye to acha hai, na ho to aur bhi acha hai. But I think so many people they tend to, I think, talk about always. Do you feel that when you read his poetry now, maybe when you read it, maybe say 20 years back, there's a different perspective the way you look at it because experiences
Well,
life.
you know, as a son, I will always be appreciative of that. As people who read his poetry and his works and his writing, whether it's his prose, whether it's his PhD on English literature from Cambridge, they will obviously find some kind. I feel that the quality of a poet is everlasting, and the poet's vision is a lot far-reaching than. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation which is very personal, and you have your personal emotions and thought processes going on at that point of time, and you read a poem. Or you begin to find elements in the poem which relate to your own personal condition, and that gives it a different viewpoint. Someone else may read it with a different state of mind.
If you can tell us about the technicalities, the technical aspects of the film, Sir has spoken about the sync sound, the editing, and so how crucial was that for you, and how was the experience of just matching everything together?
No, incredibly important because when I started my career, we did a lot of dubbing. Now I'm doing sync sound. It's very hard to explain. You know, the voice modulation that you get in sync sound, you don't get in dubbing. Because normally when you're dubbing in isolation and you're throwing your voice to a screen which is probably over there. So you tend to do a little loud. So, but however, when you're talking to somebody, I'm talking to you here or to Sir there, and accordingly I'll throw my voice, right? So you can hear. I will not throw my voice as much as for them to hear. So I think that's what happens. That's where you get the texture of a character, you know, when you're. So sync sound helps me to get that. Editing, of course. I mean, without editing, there is no film. And we had an extremely good cinematographer called Avik Mukherjee, who should be solely credited for making Badla look how it is. You know, I cannot take any credit in that. It's top to bottom Avik Mukherjee. He's the guru of cinematography. He did it. The background was done by somebody called Clinton. Again,
He's not somebody, he is Clinton.
somebody called Clinton.
Not
Clinton, Shahryar.
Everyone knows him actually.
Clinton, yeah, Clinton.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
He's a genius.
Oh, yeah. Clint is
Absolute music
outstanding.
genius.
You know, the way he brings out the emotion of a scene, he is. See, my job is to manage Faridoon. I don't do much. I just manage people. I just give them whatever they need to do, whatever they need to do.
No, but see, as a director, you have to decide that what scene to keep and not to keep because ultimately it's like a 2-hour film.
But then again, you know,
many times
that's
we see
pre-decided.
that कि उतना 15 minutes थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा लग रहा है कुछ. The way people have those comments, so it's basically the director who understands that what finally to keep in the film and what to just.
I guess, you know, that's the only probably call I take, you know. But and again, all the technicalities that you're speaking about, editing, sound, and music, and everything else is done. I just put it together. Yes, I take that call. But then again, you know, somewhere it's also aided by the script we have already written. So more or less, we have a structure in our head. कैसी होना चाहिए. But if something goes a little beyond what we were thinking, then we have to take that call. इधर पे थोड़ा छोटा करना है, इधर पे थोड़ा लंबा तो नहीं हो सकता है. लेकिन wherever we can snip, we snip. We take some fat out.
So, your producer was Shah Rukh Khan, and we've seen, I think, wonderful bantering going on between you two. And so, how was the experience of promoting the film with him?
A lot of the things that we discussed during the marketing sittings, one of the things that came across was because the film is different, because it does not have the usual music and song, and can we design something which looks different also? We came to a conclusion that it would be nice if just Shah Rukh and me sat and talked about the film, about life, about anything that under the sun. I've always felt that there's very little documentation that the Indian film industry does. We don't have any documentation of sitting with an actor or a producer or a director or a music director or a cameraman and talk to them about how he went about doing this film. And one would like to know that. I would have loved to know what K. Asif thought when he was doing Mughal-e-Azam, or what Mehboob Saab thought when he was doing Mother India, and why he designed it like this. What does Dilip Saab say about his performance in Devdas? What went through the minds of Sachin Dev Burman and Rahul Dev Burman when they designed a particular kind of music? We'd have no documentation of that, and that would be so interesting. I just thought that maybe if two actors sat together and had a chat and talked about cinema and talked about their approach to the role, it would form good documentation. It's another matter that our banter with Shah Rukh and me went a little, different, but it was nice. I think it just gave it a different aspect of how to promote a film. We talked about the film, and I think very judiciously we put in elements of Badla and also part of our personal lives. And so hopefully, that seemed to have worked. I don't know. Did it work? All right.
Very enjoyable.
So all the time there was this desire to do something different to promote the film, because the film was different. So whether it was reciting my father's poem, whether it was the posters, whether it was doing a song which was going to be picturized merely as a promotion, which is going to happen by Monday, all that was just to do something different.
Right. Yeah. There's an interesting line, "Sikke ka teesra pehlu," which is, I think, pretty interesting. You had this promotional campaign for Teen. So you guys had this at Novotel, and one of the journalists asked you that which is your one work that you feel you're most satisfied with. So you said that you're not satisfied with any of your works, and so the journalist said that you're being humble. So you said a very interesting thing that has always stayed with me. And you said that the moment a creative person gets satisfied with any of his or her work, that is the end of that person as a creative person. How do you manage to let go of the past and approach all that you're doing right now? You're doing Brahmastra right now. You've just done Badla. You approach it with so much of zeal. There's so much of new energy that you have. How do you manage to just let go of the past? You've had like a phenomenal past. I think the whole world knows that.
I've never understood these questions.
Okay.
If I'm a professional, if I'm being paid to work in a film, in a project, in an enterprise, I presume that I'm expected to do what I'm being paid for or what I'm being asked to do. I just do what I'm asked to do as a professional. You can't tell a doctor, aaj zara pet aise mat katna, aise katna. How can you do that? He's a professional. He'll do his job. He doesn't look at the caste, creed, color, size of the person he's operating. I would presume. They have a code of conduct. As a professional, I believe that my code of conduct is to follow what the director says. Once you agree to that, yes, you can have discussions, you can have arguments, you can have differences of opinion, but in the end, I will always want to succumb to the director, because his vision, his idea, his thought process is never going to be understood by anyone else but him. And that credit must go to him. If you're a professional and being employed by the producer to work under him, I would want to do that. I would want to succumb to his and just submit myself to him.
How to look at the journey of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan for the last 50 years? The most interesting part is that rarely it happens, I think, anywhere in the world that the actor is still relevant the way he was when he started off his career.
I hope a lot of producers are watching this program, because I'll get another job tomorrow.
I remember seeing Muqaddar ka Sikandar and getting a middle parting. Not just me, everybody around that area. Everybody in Calcutta. I think most of India and rest of the world. Everybody went and got a middle parting. It's still like that only.
Do you have any intention of making another movie with me?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to get it. How can you talk like this?
But
Rubbish.
we did,
No, no.
sir. We all went.
No, no, no. It's
Muqaddar Ke Sikandar is just one.
And we
It's-
covered a hair. So we covered a hair up to here.
Yeah.
Like, and then they used to get these tongs and they used to do these roundy things and put your hair on top.
Right.
Superb that was it.
you know, you're just fortunate to be getting another job. Let me tell you, it's very plain and simple. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward. Will someone come and employ me to do another work? Okay, thanks a lot. That's all there is to it. I don't know, the way you design it and the way you say it, the way you speak it is giving it a lot of volume and giving it a lot of attention.
So you're having Brahmastra
It's
and
just-
you're having
it's just
Chond
50
as well.
years.
There's
What
so
is
much. Everyone wants to work with you. There's so many directors who have said that one wish that I have is to work with Amitabh Bachchan.
जी कहाँ है वो मुझे भेजिए
So, मैं आपको
मोबाइल अता पता भेजिए मुझे
I'll do that. I'll do
मैं
that.
मिलना चाहता हूँ
I'll do that. What has been the importance of your fans? I know many of your fans personally. I know Moses Sapar. He approached me that we want a conversation with sir, and he's in Israel and he's a huge fan of yours. And I think the sort of
Huge is an understatement.
It is an understatement. The sort of things that he has on you. So I've interacted with Amira, who's based in Egypt.
in Egypt, yes, yeah.
I think she has been a fan of yours for many decades now. I recently was speaking to RJ Divya Solgama. I think he is a phenomenal fan of yours. There's so many of them with whom I've personally interacted. You call them as an extended family. What has been their relevance for you? What has been their importance for you? And how have they egged you on?
I never knew them, but the social media made it possible for me to be able to know a fan, to be able to interact with them, to be able to talk to them almost every day. So social media is really should get the credit for it. That opened up so many doors. It has opened up many doors for a lot of other things as well, and we won't talk about that. But the fact is that this medium, the blog, whether it is Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, it gives you an opportunity to know what they really think about you. They can be pleasant, they can be rude, they can be abusive, and that's what social media does to it. So you come to know them. I'm happy that I know these people. I know a lot of them personally. They come and visit my country. When I go to their country, they meet me. It's wonderful to be be able to talk to each other and know each other. It never used to happen in my time. It never used to happen that. We never knew who the fans were. Rarely did we go out. And at that time, I think a lot of people used to think that to maintain the mystique of an actor was important. And many of the old guard, some from the media and some from people who assess cinema and things like that, say, why do you go onto social media? Why do you go and meet people on a Sunday at your gate? Your mystique is getting lost. It can't happen in today's times. I will step out of my house and 400 cameras will follow me and take photographs. Going into the airport, coming out of the airport, going into a restaurant, a spa, a gym, anywhere. Communication, technology has destroyed all that. So just live with it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Huge honor and lovely talking to you, and lovely talking to you as a Sujoy, and congratulations. And so we hope that the movie continues to do extraordinarily well at the box office, and I think everyone is confident that it will. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to have you with us.
That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is Amitabh Bachchan,
Hi, this is Sujoy Ghosh.
and you're watching Bollywood Hungama. Thank you.